You've found just stories, simple, heartfelt moments from real lives, stories that remind us how connected we all are through love, loss, and hope. Get cozy. The stories are about to begin. Early morning wrapped the city in a wavering haze. Veronica reached school unusually early. Well, reached wasn't quite right. Her mum had driven her. Another sleepless night after her parents' latest quarrel left Mum restless, so she hurried to drop her daughter off and kill the long hours before she could pour her heart out to a friend. Same sad routine as always. Veronica climbed to the second floor and halted outside her classroom. Beside the tall window, bathed in pale light, stood a girl she didn't recognize, dressed in dark clothes. Ah, the new girl. Yes, that was her. Yesterday, Veronica had seen the teacher talking to her. She looked pleasant enough. An introduction was in order. Since Kira had moved away, their little clique had a vacancy. Veronica would find out the basics, gauge the newcomer's vibe. Maybe she'd be the perfect new friend. She strode to the window, voice ringing. "Hi, I'm Veronica. You're new, right? I noticed you yesterday. What's your name?" The stranger flinched at the greeting, shoulders shrinking, then, catching Veronica's warm smile, offered a timid one of her own. "Hi. Yes, I'm new. I'm Camilla." Her voice was barely above a whisper, yet lyrical. Nice name, Veronica thought. Camilla would fit their circle, and if she needed volume training, they'd handle it. "Where are you from? Another city? Parents divorced? Why transfer to our school?" The questions spilled out in rapid fire. Quietly, Camilla answered, "No, not another city, and my parents aren't divorced. My father passed away. I live with Mum. This school's closer to home, easier." Veronica nodded, sympathy thin behind her eyes. "Totally get it. I live miles out. Commuting's a nightmare. My parents shuttle me. Mum when they're fighting, Dad when they're best pals. Life, huh? Does your mum have a car?" Camilla glanced aside. "No, she doesn't drive." "Ouch! She needs a license. Every woman should. Once she has it, she can teach you. I'm taking the test the minute I hit 18. Dad's promised a car as soon as I pass. Can't wait." Camilla's shy smile flickered. "Driving must be great. I'd love to learn." Veronica tossed back a curl. "Which iPhone do you have, 12 or 13? Hope it's not a 13. Mine's only a 12, and I have to be first in class with the new model." "I don't have a phone," Camilla murmured, eyes on the floor. "I lost mine. Mum hasn't bought a new one yet." "Perfect!" Veronica beamed. "Tell her to wait till next week. Dad's getting me the 13 on Saturday. After that, go ahead." Mostly, Veronica chattered about herself. Camilla listened, gaze shining with open admiration, exactly what Veronica liked. Yes, the newcomer would slot in nicely. Classmates drifted in. Veronica took Camilla under her wing, introducing her, seating her beside her own desk. The day felt like a dream. Camilla blended easily, glowing with new friendships. Veronica invited her to Saturday's pajama party, an informal initiation. That same day, they discovered Camilla drew beautifully. Connor, impressed and smitten, promised to bring special art pencils his father had brought from abroad. "They're amazing, you'll see. I've got 2 sets, one's yours. If you love them, we can order more. Mum can sort it, I'll tell you how." Connor buzzed around Camilla all day. She was in bliss. The elite school she'd feared now felt like home. For a month, life stayed perfect. Classmates asked no awkward questions. Camilla had vaguely said her mum ran a cleaning firm in another city. Hardly odd here. Then, exactly 6 weeks after her arrival, everything collapsed. 7th period ended 10 minutes early. Camilla hurried to the restroom. Veronica and her 2 closest friends, Adeline and Diana, lingered to plead over lousy test marks. It was late Friday. The building was nearly empty. Camilla dropped her rucksack and pushed into the stalls, straight into a cleaner. Startled, the thin woman dropped an empty bucket. Camilla gasped, crouching to gather fallen cloths. The woman's face was drawn, her forehead etched with deep lines, marks of grief and grind, not age. 35, she toiled at the lowest paid work to support herself, her daughter, and a bedridden mother. She was Camilla's mum, and she scrubbed this very school. "Oh, sweetie, they asked me to come early, need the assembly hall ready." Camilla's eyes flashed. She hissed, barely moving her lips. "I begged you not to call me sweetie here. You promised we'd act like strangers. Never again." A sharp voice behind. "Mum? That's your mum? Your mum's a cleaner?" Veronica. Camilla turned chalk white. Veronica, Adeline, and Diana stared first at her, then swept the woman with scornful eyes. Camilla's fragile hope crumbled under Veronica's look of disgust and glee. Friendship was dead. Silence hung until the dismissal bell shrieked. Veronica recovered first, stepped back, beckoned her friends. "Time to go. Big party tomorrow, and my friends Adeline and Diana need to help." The emphasis slammed the door on Camilla. The trio fled, giggling. Camilla sagged. She still clutched a thin hope. Maybe Veronica was just angry. She'd phone tonight, beg her to keep the secret. Perhaps the others would stay kind. Spinning to her mum, she spat, "I warned you! If this happened again, I'd lose it. You've ruined everything. Again, I hate you. My life is a mess because of you." Her mother folded her arms like a shield. "I'm sorry, Camilla. I never meant. I love you more than life. Please don't say such things." Camilla snatched her bag and bolted, leaving the woman alone. All evening she rang Veronica. No answer. Then a text. The party was on. They expected her at 8. Relief flooded Camilla. Maybe forgiveness? Saturday she arrived on time, rehearsed speech ready. Her wealthy father's love, the fatal crash, the greedy uncle, her mother's struggle, proof that poverty wasn't her fault. If only she'd known. Veronica opened the door. The whole class was inside. Camilla froze. Silence. Stares. Words stuck in her throat. Veronica's theatrical voice sliced the hush. "Dear classmates, our acquaintance began with a lie. Tonight you'll hear the truth." Camilla's pleading eyes met Veronica's smirk. "Meet Camilla, the janitor's daughter, toilet queen, CEO of a very personal cleaning empire. Welcome to my modest home, O toilet princess, child of grime." Laughter erupted, pointing, whispers, sneers. Veronica had united the class against her. Camilla stumbled for the exit. Veronica's shout chased her. "Yeah, run. You don't belong in decent houses. Stick to scrubbing loos, like Mommy. Though mine could use a polish, I'd pay." More laughter. Camilla fled into the night, running blind for blocks before slowing. Tears never came. Something inside shifted. She saw how empty these people were, worshipping nothing but money. Next to them, her mum was a queen. She would never beg such souls again. She'd apologize to her mum, tell her she loved her, return to school and treat the bullies as invisible. Her heart now lay behind a stone wall no insult could breach. 15 years later, the class of 11A held a reunion. Nearly everyone came. Their homeroom teacher, Mrs. Alice Ivers, had been gravely ill but recovered. The gathering was her surprise. They met in their old classroom, now adults with jobs and wrinkles, laughing, hugging, reminiscing. Mrs. Ivers kept dabbing happy tears. Then a stunning woman entered, tall, impeccably dressed in understated luxury. Veronica's eyes widened at the jewels, the coat that must cost a fortune. Wrong room, she assumed. But the stranger's gaze locked onto her, and recognition stirred. The woman approached, heels tapping. "Hello, Veronica. Don't you recognize me?" That voice, unchanged. "Camilla." "Camilla?" Veronica whispered. Camilla smiled. "So you do remember. I haven't changed a bit, have I?" Leaving Veronica speechless, she turned to Mrs. Ivers, hugged her, chatted warmly. Connor watched, recalling how he'd demanded those pencils back, too cowardly to defend her. Classmates edged closer, curiosity beating guilt. They learned Camilla lived in the United States, married 8 years to a wealthy American, yet successful in her own right as a sought-after designer. TV appearances under her married name, work with celebrities, red carpet events. She'd moved her mum across, bought her a house. Mum had remarried happily. Shock rippled through the room. The cleaner's daughter had soared higher than any of them, even the children of privilege. Asked for her secret, Camilla only said, "I worked hard and ignored anyone who tried to belittle me. Some of you may recall that. When I stopped being ashamed of Mum and myself, I realized I could achieve anything. That's all." When they prepared to leave for dinner, Connor offered her a shared taxi. She shook her head. "I can't. Flight in an hour, driver's waiting." He walked her to the car. Classmates watched, many green with envy. Connor squeezed her hand. "Will I see you again?" A wistful smile. "Unlikely. Nothing ties me here. I dropped in on a whim and learned I shouldn't. Goodbye." She paused. "Connor, thank you for the pencils. Even though you reclaimed them, they mattered. And thank you for the silence. I once had a crush on you. I'm grateful we never happened. I wouldn't be this happy now. Farewell." She slipped into the car. Connor stood on the pavement long after it vanished, thinking of the girl he'd once loved who, in 40 minutes, had etched another mark on his heart.